You underestimate
the power of the dark side.
Just hear it jarring around in there. Yeah, that's bad.
We'll see if this shaft. Oh my god.
Just go right in. Holy.
Yeah. I mean, but the shocks are okay. We had the service guys look at it, but they're perfect.
Crazy how much quieter that is.
Get the tires off and
yeah.
Here. And then like here, I'll just there. And I think the other side was quite a bit worse. Yeah, see on the back side up in there.
Mm-hmm.
Right in here, like
Yeah.
it's a good tip for people if you're ever buying a vehicle and they say the shocks are okay, and then you see that looking stuff, it's oil that's leaking out of the shock. So
Tell them you might be able to save yourself some money.
yeah, like that's what it costs to rebuild these. So, and once we saw that when we were negotiating on the price, we negotiated that out of it and got it for an extra $1,500 less. So
Yeah, sometimes you have to zoom in on the picture for them to really understand. They might just tell you they're fine, but if you point it out to them, it might be cool enough to help you.
some people ask if they need to check the gas pressure when they get the shocks. No, the gas pressure is set. We have to set it to check the shocks. We pressure test them all. So, but when we do it, we turn the perch so the SVT logo is still facing the front of the truck and the schrader valve is pointing up instead of down, so you don't have to check lay down on the ground to check the gas pressure. But so basically, just always make sure you got your pigtail there lined up. And then a lot of times people will call me and they'll be like, it's not lining up. Well, because we turn this perch, you have to turn the rubber inside of your top hat here. So, and when I do it, this is how it's supposed to be. The thin side of your spacer here is going to be facing you. So basically what I'm doing here is just turning it. And then another thing that I do, just to quick reference it and make sure that this is indexed right. I don't put a line on it, you can, but what I do is I make sure these two lines, or these two studs, are lined up directly with the flat side of this. So if you lay a straight edge there and make sure that your studs are in the straight line, or even just real close, you've got a couple degrees to work with, but like right there, that's really close. So sometimes, like if I've got somebody here, I'll just push down on it and get the nuts started. But when they're at standard perch here, only thing I use is just these cheap clamps, and you don't have to hardly run it down at all. Just go a little bit on one side, a little on the other, back to this side, and the stud is through. Start that. And here's another thing that people ask, they're like, oh, the shaft is turning. Well, it's gonna turn. This is a top lock nut. So just keep going. And once it stops, stop. I mean, you can see the socket there. I'll tighten it again, and it hits that bushing. You just stop. You don't have to torque it, and I've had people twist these off, and there's no need. Just when the socket stops, stop. Did you hear it just go zzz? It's tight. If you want to measure before and after, that's how much shaft should always be sticking through. So if you're wondering if you got it tight or not, but that's the quickest way to get it indexed right. Make sure, like I said, the thin part of your shim is facing you on the top hat. These two studs need to line up with that. and I'll show you. We'll throw it back in there quick and finish this up. So by getting this lined up here, you've got a few degrees you've got a few degrees to work with. So even if it's not, these two studs aren't perfect like I get them, you can move it around a little bit. But just what I do is I put it back up in there with one hand, get your nut in your other hand, and then I just usually, so the shock is held now, it's not going anywhere, and then just push down. I told you it was perfect. And then basically what I do is just get it in line there. There you go. Now everything it's held in line. But again, the way we do it, the SVT logo, we turn that so that stays so you can see it. That's why they have it on there. So, but to do that, we have to turn one of the perches 180 degrees. So it's a lot easier to check your gas pressure from here than it is laying underneath it. But we're gonna button this back up and move on to the other side. I just took the nut off here, the spring, but so when this was sitting in here, you know, you look at the outside of the shock and it's leaning in like this on the truck. So when you're buying your vehicles and stuff, make sure that you look in here, because all the mechanics and all the salesmen, they're gonna be like, oh, they look great. And it's like, no, it doesn't look great. Those are leaking. So that's what we pointed out when we bought this. And this is what is gonna end up happening. This is oil. This is supposed to be on the inside, not the outside. And then we'll see if this shaft, oh my God.
Just go right in. Holy.
Yeah. I mean, but the shocks are okay. We had the service guys look at it, but they're perfect. You know, there's nothing wrong with them. So that's, every time you buy a Raptor, look at that and negotiate your price down. I mean, you should be able to get $1,000 to $1,500 off the price, because they don't know it. And when you point it out, yeah, show them this video too if you want. So we're doing the right front now. I already put the spring clamps on this and ran it down a little bit. It was the other side that I had to turn 180 degrees. And you'll notice when you take your shocks off of your truck, one of these, there's no flies in here at all. I mean, fucking 1,000 probably. This is how it gets up here in the fall. Anyways, one thing you'll notice when a lot of times people will be like, oh, the schrader valve's pointing the wrong direction, I can't get this lined up. Well, if you look at your shocks when you take them off, the plugs that are in here before we put the schrader valves in, one of them is facing out and one of them is in. That's why when we put them both out, you have to turn the top hat 180 degrees. So it was the other side, because I just took this one off. This is a right front and everything is lined up. And the other one I had to turn it 180 degrees. So I'm just going to show you again how to tighten this, because you will see, if you look here when I'm tightening it, you'll see the shaft turn. And you see the socket stopped and the shaft stopped. So that's tight. You don't have to go anymore. It actually compressed the spring. Now these are loose. So that's, it doesn't really, I know I make it look easy because I've done it hundreds of times probably, but it's not that hard, and that's why I'm doing the videos, just to show you how easy it is, and don't let it kind of, you know, fool you. But yeah, everything is lined up and ready to go back in. And I will show you here, this one is just off maybe a few degrees, but I'll show you what you can do if it is like that. I always make sure that I just hold that there, put one of the nuts on, and it's off just a little bit, but you've got, like I told you before, you've got room to turn it. There's just a few degrees to work with, so by turning it there, it slipped right back in, and kind of like it when it slips in, you know what I mean? See, now that shock should have extended there. Now just pull it back, Dawson, and pull down on the shaft, and watch, there's zero gas pressure in that either. Pull down. See the shock extended there? Yeah. So, but if that had gas pressure, because when we put these on, we have to jack the shaft into place. Yeah, he's pushing that in by hand. So when we get it off, we'll push down on it, and yeah. That one had a little pressure on it.
Yeah.
Still not going to be what it's supposed to be, but it's going to be more than the left rear was. Just spraying down the frame with M-Soil heavy duty metal protector. It says guards against corrosion, seals out moisture, resists dirt, forms a durable protective film, but basically it's just up here in South Dakota and up in the Midwest. They salt the roads and stuff so bad that, like, look at the leaf springs, and they're just starting, they get like a surface rust, and if you don't do anything, it'll just get worse and worse. So this thing is really actually very clean. There was just a little bit of rust here, right around the welds and stuff, but a lot of times when you see them up here, the whole frame is that way. So I'm just gonna spray them down good, and I think these cans are maybe like 15-20 bucks a piece, but they're definitely worth it. Just adds a little bit of a oily kind of, well, metal, just something to protect the metal and stuff like that. And it just makes it look good. But like where the weld is back there,
Oh yeah.
you can see that's kind of what we're trying to protect here, just those spots where they welded, and it just puts a little bit of a protective layer on it and keeps it good, and also just looks better too.
Yeah, the more the lube, the better. Got all four on now. So we're just trying to figure out what was going on with the rattling noise in here. When we put the shocks on, it fixed like 80% of it, and it rides really good now. But there was still, when we'd go over some little tiny bumps, there was still little jarring in the front end. You can only hear it when you go over the little bumps real slow. So we think we know what it was. I think it was these. They're in here, and you can see they're wearing right here and hitting bad. They're pretty loose. This one was really bad. And that knocked off some of the coating on there. So hopefully that helped it. And then we also had the skid plate loose, so we went and got some more bolts and put those on there. So hopefully it helps. We're gonna try it out here, and we're gonna show you the gas pressure in them. It's a good poop.
Oh boy.
Should we show them the gas pressure in
Pretty much an emergency.
the shocks?
Yeah.
I was getting it started earlier,
Let's
but I
do
didn't
it.
finish it. So you gotta take this little pellet out here.
Yeah. This is my
You're a
favorite
pro.
part.
You
Oh,
never can do it on the camera.
fuck's sake.
Get her jabbed in there again.
What? No way. It's not gonna do it now.
Go.
Fudge. No.
Well, we got another one to try.
One
yet.
was really in there. Alright. So we're gonna stick that in there. Where's his grease? Give me his grease.
Always lube it before you stick it.
Oh my god.
Hold that thought. We'll be right back.
So bad. This is an X-rated channel. Wow. Sometimes I do that so much I run out of spit.
Oh.
175 in that one.
It's actually pretty
Probably
decent.
about 180 to 185.
Hold it for a
Because basically it takes a little bit to fill the gauge, so you lose about 10 pounds of what was actually in there, but it's still really low, not good. This one I would say was off the right rear because that one extended. The left rear will be I think it's going to be less.
Hold on. It won't even focus, man.
This one's pretty compromised. I think we got a little bit of, here's some oil that's come through and went through the bypass. It's equalized a little bit. Want to bet it's less? Holy cow. Wow. It's not. 185. It's not bad.
Unbelievable.
Holy crap.
Ow.
Well,
no oil.
So the reason there's a dead spot in it is just all this oil that's come out. It's like having a glass half full. So your oil volume is down to here, and it's aerated too, because when you lose it, then the shock it introduces air into it. See, like right now it's in oil, and there it's not. So this is your dead spot right there. So
how much was it in there? 200?
200, yeah.
Wow. So 50 pounds less than it's supposed to still.
If I had to guess, I would say that this truck was inside pretty much its whole life, because up here in like the northern part of the United States, it gets really cold, and when they're outside, they'll lose a lot more gas pressure. But if they stay in a heated shop or whatever, oh, finally, it's just a controlled environment, so the gas pressure will stay better. But we'll see what this one is.
So it was leaking even more, it looks like, wasn't it?
Nope. Well, yeah, they're both about, I would say they're about the same. That one's quite a bit less. 175. Yeah.
Okay.
So
I still needed gas.
Which gives you, it'd be like having, so if you have 175 pounds of gas in one shock and 200 in the other, or 250 or 220, that's going to make it bad, just like having low air pressure in your tires. So anyway, this is yeah, I mean, these weren't in terrible shape, but you still should not be able to do this. I mean, it's coming out, but the problem is that thing should extend all the way. So that's why when it's low on oil like that, it can extend all the way, because it's just like, let's just say your glass is empty to right here. It's only gonna push it up that far. But like if we took this apart right now, it wouldn't be just solid oil, it would be foamy. When the piston is going through oil and it's not just pure oil, it's just introducing air into the oil, and it's just like shaking up a bottle of Coke. So
it's like a frother.
Oh,
just a little touch up here. Dad's paint shop. That's a hell of a lot better though. That's like the same exact color.
pretty damn close.
Wow. Yeah.
That's like
so matched.
Crazy.
Paint match master over here.
The whole fucking truck. Yeah, that's good enough. Let's go take this bitch for a ride and see if we got rid of it.
So this is where it was really bad yesterday. Once we get over this hill and stuff. And it was really loud.
Crazy how much quieter that is.
Yeah. Way better now.
Yeah. Well, like I said, you're always, I mean, we could probably mess around in the engine compartment, because on this one, it's got an aftermarket air cleaner on it, and I've noticed that was loose, so that even that can make noise. So
yeah, I think I'm hearing about 80% is like the doors in the cab moving around a little too, but nothing with the suspension.
That is kind of the problem with these doors a little bit, but I feel a little bit in the front end, but
yeah,
it's like 90% less than it was.
Yeah, it's pretty decent.
It's ready for the Baja 1000.